Hello, legacy planners. Thank you so much for tuning in to all of my real stories about love, loss, and legacy. Today, I want to talk about what is legacy. How do you define it? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? And why I believe it's so important to have this conversation, to bring attention and awareness to it, and to build a community around it. All right, so let's get started. So today, I was talking to a friend of mine. They asked me, what is legacy? In terms of this platform, what am I intending for that to mean? What do I think it should be? And so I was telling her the things that who you are, your brand, your story left to continue on through, your seeds, your loves, your family, friends, whoever you're leaving behind. It's not even just my kids, right? Not my future grandkids. It's really everything that I am and what I'm leaving behind and who I was when I was here. And I want to leave that story, to that journey, to be continued in some form or fashion. And so how do you build that? Where does it start? How does that look? And really, I think it kind of starts with your brand and, how people know you to be and what you do and how that evolves, and then what you leave. And leaving doesn't always mean something that's monetary. It doesn't always mean it's something tangible. Legacy could also be something of tradition, something of standard, something of purpose, that you leave for those that that are in your world that knew you leave it for them to carry on. And so it's important for me, obviously, with my children, I have 2 sons, that I leave them the best parts of me. But it's not just important to me for them. I am married. I have cousins, aunts, uncles, friends. I'm a part of an amazing sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And I want to leave, a piece of who I am and the things that are important to me and the things that I've stood on and stand by and support. I want to leave that, and I want that to be a part of my legacy. And so there's just so many different components to that. So you just start to kind of divide it, you compartmentalize it, and you build upon it. And so you may be working on a piece of it here and a piece of it there. Obviously, for me, because I have children, it's important for me to leave something tangible for them, monetary, to continue on. I have something even earmarked for my grands, and because it's not even just for them, it's not just from me to them, but I want that to live on, and I want to teach them how to create that, to live on. Let me just, share what I think are the top 5 things in terms of your legacy. 1, you have to be something. You have to stand for something. How are you represented? Do you know who you are and what you have? Not just monetarily. We're just talking about the person, right? So if you take the money out of it, the tangible things out of it, properties and all of that, bank accounts, if you remove that, who are you? So for me, my relationship with Christ is top priority, no matter my relationship with my parents, my children, my husband, none of that. No, my relationship with Christ. That's my number 1. And not even just my relationship with him, but how it's shown in your experience when you interact with me. I believe referencing scripture is definitely important and it's needed. I'm probably not the best at being able to tell you, Jeremiah 4:11. That's not my gifting. Oh, it's more important that it's shown. Let the scriptures show, let you exemplify the scriptures through your actions is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So for me, that's what's important. Who you are, your actions, how you are represented, and not just what people think about you, but what does God think about you? And that's important for me. Number 2 is, what are you building? And meaning that, are you building? For me, it can't just be for within my 4 walls. Like, that's not legacy to me. So how does what I do, how's that going to be an outreach to others? So I'm in human resources. I also am a creative. I've done event planning. I'm very organized. So, I was a certified wedding planner, project management. And so that's what I've built, and that's my skill set and how I've been able to impact others through my work. And so that's important because I do that in my life. I've been able to yield an income from that, which I've been able to then, put some resources and things away financially. So to me, that's important. Also, the company that you keep. So I know you're like, well, what does that have to do with legacy? It has, to me, everything to do with it, because it's not just about what you can do. It's about your network. I tell my children this, if you are the smartest person in your group, in your circle, get you a new circle, because that's no good. Because everybody's pulling and gleaming from you, but who are you pulling from? Who are you getting from? Who's filling up your cup? So I think it's important to surround yourself with people that you can grow from, that you can learn from. And I think that's going to help you build your foundation, right? To build your empire, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Next, I think it's just love. So in my family, both my household and my, external family members, my friends, the very limited ones that I have, I want them to always know my love. I want that to be a feeling and a connection. So that's really important to me. And then lastly, build. You do have to kind of to build the financial resources for me. Not just insurance, not just money, but something that can be passed on to my family. And, and some of that's tangible, some of that's monetary, some of that's gifting from what I've taught and they've been able to make income from, or support from. So that's important to me. So I think those are several ways that you can build a legacy. Certainly not limited to. I would love to hear what you've done. How are you building your legacy? Are you doing any of those things? Are you doing some additional things? Let's talk about it. I think this is not a one and done. Again, I think it's ever evolving. I think it's a draft and you just kind of keep working it until you can't work it anymore, right? I think that's important. So how are you building your legacy? Okay, so if you have enjoyed this content, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, what else? What else do you want to talk about when it comes to real stories around love, loss, and legacy? I have my weekly video coming up on Sunday, and that is going to be a good one. So definitely subscribe if you want to, and hit the notifications if you want to be a part of that. All right. Talk to you soon, Legacy Planners. Mwah.